Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Yo, what's good, y'all? What's the word? What's going on? How everybody doing out there? Y'all already know what it is, man. We are back again, and it's time for the weekend banger. It's time for the weekend banger, y'all. That's a lock. It's time for the weekend banger, and I got one. I keep a banger at all times. But like I always say before I start these videos off, I have no problem delivering this content to everybody that's out there working hard, working a 9 to 5. Everybody that's out there with their own business, getting to that bag the legit way. I make sure y'all got something to watch in the morning times, and I promise y'all there's no problem on my end. I also have no problem making sure I'm warning y'all and telling y'all about how dangerous prison is. I only ask for one thing in the process, people. And that's for y'all to just stay out the way, man. Why not? Unless you want to live the thug life till you're 50 and then get locked up and never come home till you're 80, or get locked up when you're 25 and never come home till you're 50. That's what running the streets gonna do to you, man. I'm letting you know now, they're giving out football numbers, man. I was blessed to get a football number when I was 17 years old, man. So I was still able to come home and still have a life. A lot of y'all are still running around out here in y'all 20s and 30s, running the streets, sliding and gliding, and they end up giving y'all a football number. You done. When you come home, you gonna be a granddaddy. Your parents gonna be super old. They're still living, God forbid. You don't want to go through this, man. I'm telling you, man. Like, you don't know stuff like this happens until you're in this situation, man. You're running around breaking the law, doing whatever you want until you get sat down and put in a jail cell. You're not gonna understand where I'm coming from, man. Sometimes you gotta learn your lesson the hard way. But I'm trying to save y'all from that right now by just telling y'all simply, stay out the way. That's it, y'all. Period. But y'all already know what it is, man. This is the weekend banger game. So when y'all do this, like, this one, y'all. Skip. Let's go. What? It's time for business. It's time for business, y'all. And the story I got for y'all today is called He Paid for His Mistake. Part 1. Crazy story, crazy situation, but we are aware, people. We are in penitentiary, man. Crazy things happen all the time. And I'm letting y'all know now, man. Like, you have people in there sometimes, like, they'll move too fast and do things that they'll end up regretting in the long run, man. Like, you gotta be extra careful in prison, man. If you someone that's thinking you're doing something that you know could probably potentially hurt the next person that's in there, man, like, a lot of people gonna feel some type of way about that, man. Like, you gotta be careful of the things you do in there, man. Prison is one of these dangerous places where everything is accounted for, man. Like, if you mess around and do something that you think is not wrong, but it turns out to be wrong, it ain't that you can just apologize for it, man. People are gonna come and there's gonna be violence, man. That's just how I go in penitentiary, y'all. So with that being said, though, we on Susses 2 for this, y'all. We on Susses 2. And I can remember being in 4 building for this one, y'all. We in 4 building for this one, man. It was crazy because being in 4D, man, was like, I didn't like this pod when I got there. This was the first pod that I had got to when I got out the Bing. So like 4 building was the first, 4D was the first part out of all the 4 building pods I had been to that I had liked the most, man. Why? Because it was just a good environment, man. It was an environment of people that I saw that was on the same page as me. Like, I did a story about 4D a few times, and I always tell y'all this, like, it had a lot of motion in there, man. I came in and seen motion, like, especially from the dudes I knew. So that kind of motivated me to come with my motion. And that's what I was trying to do. So I ain't even gonna lie, coming into that block, I loved it. I loved it off the top, man. I had dudes in there I knew. It was comfortable. It was summertime when I got in there. It was a lot going on. They had female COs in there. Everybody was cool. Everything was a good situation. Now, they had red team all around the building. They had red team in my pod. See, they was all in the building. Richmond was in there. Norfolk was in there. Everybody was in there. That's just how I be in there, man. So, like, I can remember this one dude, man. Like, he was a different dude. We're going to call him Green, man. The reason why we're going to call him that, because they call this guy I'm talking about by his last name. Now, I'm not going to say where this guy's from, but he was definitely somebody that was in 4D. Now, he being in the pod, he was like one of those dudes that kind of had looked young, but he was older than all of us. Like, he was one of those dudes that was like 48 already, but he didn't look old. You know what I mean? He didn't look old at all. He was kind of a short dude, a little shorter than me. Had the low cut, kept himself together, man. Green was the guy that was like the house lawyer in the pod, man. Like, y'all know every prison has one. It's a couple of them be in every pod, slightly in everywhere prison you want to go look at it. Like, there's always somebody that know the law, that be trying to help people with the law. Sometimes charge people to help them with the law or with the case or whatever, or what they charge or whatever the case, man. Like, that's what they be in there. So Green was one of those dudes. He was one of those dudes that was kind of like in there helping people, like go to the law library, look up the right things, do stuff like that. So that was kind of like his superpower in our pod. Like, the pod was full of hyenas and dudes that's getting money, but he was definitely never messed with, because he was the guy that was actually trying to help people get home. So like, a lot of people had tried to deal with Green. Green was one of those dudes that already had done time at Powhatan and, you know, a lot of the rough spots that there was. So he's had experience in doing prison time. So everybody in there used to holler at him about different things, and he was just a real convict, man. Like, he knew how to be it. I give him that. He knew how to be it, man. But it was like, you couldn't get him wrong, like, especially if you was an officer. Like, I'll say his worst thing that will always tee him off, that you would see him get out of his square, was the officers. The officers, more than the inmates, would get him out of his square. The inmates usually really didn't bother him. The COs and people like that, those would be the people he always clashed with. When I say always clash, I'm talking about always clash, man. Like, he was one of those dudes that, like, you know, he gonna put that paperwork on you. Like, he knew how to do that. Like, he'll write up an informal complaint, and he'll do stuff like that, and he'll mess around and, you know, have the people come talk to the sergeants or the big hats, come talk to whoever he writing up. So like, he didn't play around, man. He was a beast with the ink pen game, man. So like while he was in our pod, like, he really didn't cause no harm to nobody. He really didn't do nothing crazy to nobody, man. But like, it was just so much stuff going on. You know what I mean? Like, the wrong thing can get crazy. So like, I can remember this one day, man, Green, I got mad at this lady that was working, man. We gonna call this lady right here Miss Williams, man. But Miss Williams was somebody that was there. She was like a lady that was in her 30s. Like, you know, I really never talked to her like that. She's that, like, she did her job, but still didn't care what we did at the same time. Was she bringing the package? I didn't know at this particular moment, but she was actually one of the officers that worked in our pod. She worked the morning time shift. So when she used to be there, like, she really didn't push a lot at nobody. Like, I mean, nothing at all, man. Like, nothing. And like, she would let us get away with stuff, but still, like, she would like, but still, when it was time for her to do her job, you gotta kind of respect her a little bit. If she tell you to do something, like, sometimes that'll get people out of their body. That'll have people thinking like, yo, I'm so used to her being cool that, you know, I ain't trying to really listen to what she got to say, man. So I can remember one time, man, like, the main argument that used to always happen with Green, you know what I mean? And with me being in cell 26 this time, I'm in 4D, I'm in cell 26, so I can come to my door and I can just look straight down, kind of like where the slider is at, and, you know what I mean, seeing the people that's come in, and from my window, I can look outside to the boulevard. So I had a good cell, but I used to always hear Green get to arguing about the same thing every other day. Now, I would say every other day because it'd be Mondays and Wednesdays and sometimes Fridays where he would make his trip to the law library. Now, the law library, you would have to sign a request form and kind of like let them like grant you to come to the law library. And they'll put out a sheet of people that, you know what I mean? Like I forgot the name of it, but it's a sheet that they'll bring out. Everybody has to go to the law library to go to the law library. Now, you won't always be the guy that's always getting called, but Green used to always get called because Green been on the camp and he's been helping people with their stuff. So like, I guess it was a lady that worked the law library that came from the street. She knew Green for doing that. So he like, it'd be certain people that they would let come to the law library on those every other days. So Green would be one of the ones that come on those every other days. So I can remember him at the slider door, man. And this is like soon as count cleared. This was count cleared. They're gonna get program out, you know what I mean? Like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays is usually program and stuff like that going on. Every day on a weekday is usually school and stuff like that going on. But this was crazy because I'm in the bed chilling. I'm in that junk and I'm looking at the news, y'all. That's where I'm chilling. I just hit Green. And Green used to be like, no, you wrong. Well, if you don't want to believe me, go ask your boss. He used to say stuff like that. Go ask your boss. And I think that used to kind of tick people off. Like, go ask my boss. Like, that junk used to just sound crazy. Like, but that was his favorite word. I ain't even gonna lie. When he get into it with them, I guess that was his way of insulting the COs. You know what I mean? Without really getting super verbal with them like that. You know what I mean? You know us, we gonna be like, man, F you, F your mama. We gonna snap out like that. He used to be like, yeah, look, you don't want to know. Get there. Go ask your boss then. Go ask your boss. He'll tell you. Go ask your boss. So the lady like, listen, I don't got no boss. I don't have no boss. He said, yes, you do. Everybody got a boss. You got a boss. She said, who is your boss? He said, my boss is God. That's what my boss is. I'm like, so I'm standing on the door just watching him argue with the lady. The lady, Miss Williams, is a cool lady. But still though, like, you know, sometimes she could be on some BS. So I don't got nothing to do with it. So I don't really care. I'm just sitting here watching the show. You know what I mean? He like, no, She like, you not on this paper to be able to go to the law library today. She said, I'm not letting you go to the law library because your name is not on this list. He said, sometimes I ain't on the list. He said, call your boss. Call your boss. They'll tell you. She said, I'm not calling nobody. I'm not calling nobody. How about that? Go back to your cell before I write you up. He said, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. How about that? He had a laundry bag. In his laundry bag, he was one of those dudes. He had like a laundry bag. And then inside his laundry bag was nothing but books and folders. And you know what I mean? He still had to hold it like this, but that's what he carried it. And he didn't have no book bag. He had to use the laundry bag. So he grabbed the bag. He was like, I ain't going nowhere. He went to the middle table. Boom. He set that jump down. He just sat there. So everybody looking like, man, this gonna hold us up for Empire Rec, because they usually get them out first before we have Empire Rec. So everybody on the door like, Lord, man, what Green got going on? He like, nah, you gonna call your boss. Yeah, you gonna call your boss. That's what you gonna do. You gonna call your boss. She's like, I ain't calling nobody. If you don't step in, I'm gonna call the people to take you to the hole. He said, hey, I ain't going to the hole. Ain't nobody gonna take me to the hole. How about that? Ain't nobody gonna take me to the hole. Yeah, how about that? So I'll say probably for about 5-10 minutes, they go back and forth. Next thing you know, police come in the joint. You know what I mean? Sergeant come in, another CO come in. They go to the table and holler at him. You know what I mean? Talk to him. Next thing you know, they were like, look, he went up, said, holler at the lady. I couldn't hear what he was saying to Lady Miss Williams. But basically, like, he basically was like, yo, look, he go to the law library, you know? So, like, seeing that, man, seeing how bro just had, like, you know what I mean? He had star power, man. Like, you know what I mean? He knew how to talk. He knew how to write stuff up. He was just great at being a convict, man. I know that sounds crazy, man, but I promise you, man, after arguing with the CO and she told him she wasn't going to let him go to his program, the man still went to the law library, y'all. So, boom. He told the sergeant, he was like, well, look, she made me miss lunch. So, look, I still need a tray. He said, well, look, go to the law library. Sergeant said, well, look, go to the law library, and I'm going to bring you a tray, Green. I'm going to bring you a tray, man. You good. He was like, all right. You know what I mean? He looked at the lady like, and she was just standing there she had a bad look on her face. Then the sergeant called her to the office. He hollered at her. Next thing you know, she was letting us out for Empire Rec. So when we came out, everybody was like, yo, that junk crazy, man. Like, Green's wilding, like, you know what I mean? So everybody was like, yo, like, you know how they gonna let them go to the law library sometime. You know how that go, man. So, like, nothing came of that. So she ended up leaving. So when we came out, so when he came back from program, you know what I mean? He came back, like, you know, he'll usually just be sitting at the first table slightly by the payphones, and he'll have all this paperwork out there. You'll have different dudes coming up to him, asking him questions, and he'll just be sitting there kind of talking to dudes or just chilling by himself with his paper and stuff. So, like, for real, like, I don't know, like, for real, I didn't really know what he was doing at the moment. You know what I mean? I can't really call and say what he was doing at the moment, but, like, I just see him at the table kind of like just writing something. Like, he was like, you know, people coming to talk to him, but the whole time he talking to people, he chilling at the table and he just, you know what I mean? You see him writing. Like, he writing the joint. You know what I mean? He writing something. Then I can see the paper that you would get from, like, out the office. I didn't know what kind of paper it was, but, like, they'll tell you, like, you know, when it comes to those informal complaints, like, if you run out of space, you can get a regular paper and then just staple it and it'll still go, you know what I mean, to where it need to be. So that's what he was doing. Like, he wrote on a regular joint, and I guess he ran out of room, and now he's on a regular paper and he's just writing. He's just writing, you know what I mean? So I don't know what he was writing up, but he was writing. So next day rolled around. When the lady came back to work, Miss Williams came back to work, she pulled up immediately, like when we came out for rec, and she seen him at that table, my word, in front of everybody. She pulled up, she said, let me tell you something. You can write whoever you want to write up. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. I don't care about nothing like that. You not going to your law library. That was a misunderstanding. Okay, I know now, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna talk to me how you want to and keep writing your little papers. I don't care what you writing those books, telling on me. I don't care about that. She said it just like that in front of everybody. I don't care about you writing those books, telling on me. I don't care nothing about that. He was like, he looked at her like, look, man, I ain't got nothing to talk about. She was like, yeah, I know you don't got nothing to talk about. You trying to write me up, you better walk straight. And she said that to him. When she said that to him, I promise you, man, I just seen his face get like, he was like, and you know, he kind of like a little short, fat dude a little bit. He was like, he looked at her, he was like, you know what I mean? He looked at her and just shook his head like, so everybody was like, man, that junk crazy, man. So my homeboy waiting on the phone, you know what I mean? So he got his back to Green. You know what I mean? This is after the lady left. He got his back to Green, sitting at the same table as Green. So he's not talking to Green, but he spun around. When I see him spun around and start talking to Green, I'm getting on the phone after bro on the other phone. So I just came and stood right there a little bit. And my homeboy was like, hey, man, Weezy, look. I was like, what's up? He was like, hey, Green, look, man, I know you're a beast at the law library and all, man, but look, you can't get rid of Miss Williams, man. You can't be pushing nothing to get rid of her, man. Like, she the only one that don't be tripping about the la-la. She the only one that don't be tripping about the la-la. She don't be pushing it when we 229, man. Like, come on, man, you can't get rid of her. He was like, I ain't trying to get rid of her, but she gonna respect me though. She gonna respect me, and by, you know, like pushing this pen gonna make her respect me. That's she gonna understand what this pen can do. They think this pen is a weak weapon. Nah, I don't need a knife. All I need is this ink pen right here. That's all I need is this ink pen. So I'm like, I heard him say that. I'm like, Green, come on, man. You can't compare an ink pen to a knife, man. Like, it's not the same. Nah, it do the same damage. Mine's do internal damage. Y'all's do other damage. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you couldn't really argue with him about anything, to be honest with you, like, especially about the law. Like, that was a no-win argument. Like, you gotta do a habeas. Like, he used to know everything when it came to that law stuff. I ain't gonna lie. So arguing with him with that used to be a no-go, man. But like right now, like arguing with him about trying to save Miss Williams, he acting like he don't get it, y'all. So boom. So I'm like, I ain't gonna say nothing, man. That's on him. You know what I mean? If he acting like this ain't no major thing, then that's on him, man. Like, real talk. Like, so I just stayed out. I hopped on the phone. My man hopped on the phone. That was a wrap. So like the whole day, you could tell, you could see the tension in like him and Miss Williams. Like, you could see kind of like the tension. Like, you know, they didn't really like each other. So like it came to this. Like, you know, he did this. So it was about to be lockdown. He was helping the dude was something. I don't know what he was helping somebody with, but it was about to be like the morning lockdown. So we locked down at 10:30. I think it's 10:30. So he's sitting at the table. So he was sitting at the table. He get up after helping the dude like 10:25. He go get his door open. As he getting his door open, Miss Williams is standing right by the office. So he had to walk to the booth to tell the lady to open his door. So he slept in cell 19. So he walked down to his cell after the lady opened his door. Miss Williams watching. He go get his shower bag. So he gonna get his shower bag. I seen Miss Williams. Miss Williams was like, she did a little smirk like, got his ass. Like, I knew that's what she was thinking. You know what I mean? I got his ass. Because he used to always do that because he would think he was above the law. Like, sometimes, I ain't gonna lie. So he would get his shower bag and hop in the shower super late. Now, you can do this, but a lot of times if you got an a-hole working, they're not gonna want you to do this. So he gonna hop in the shower super late. So as soon as he get out the shower, he like this. He hitting his flip-flops. She like, bring me your ID. Bring me your ID when you finish too. You holding up my count. He was like, he got out and looked, the whole pot was empty. He was like, I was washing my ass. She was like, I don't care what you was doing. Give me your ID when you go in the room right now, or I'll go get it from the face cards. Which one you want to do? You refusing your ID? He was like, you gonna write me up for washing my ass? She was like, yes. Yes, I'm gonna write you up for washing. He was like, man, that's fucked up. So he got his shirt off, but he got his towel like over his shoulders, you know what I mean? So like I say, he kind of like a fat dude a little bit, you know what I mean? So he like, that's messed up. That's messed up, man. Always one of these old bald-headed heifers. And like, for real, I guess he thought because he was saying that without a curse word, like he probably thought it wasn't gonna cause as much damage. You know what I mean? But he was like, it's always these old bald-headed heifers. So she's walking towards him like while he's going to his door, like, get in your cell. Like, she on it like that. Get in your cell right now. I ain't trying to hear that. Get in your cell right now. Go to your cell right now. He like, man, it's always these old bald-headed heifers, man. It's always this. You like bald-headed heifer. She said, you little short, little smurf looking mushroom man. Look at your body. Look at your body. You gonna call me bald-headed? He was like, yeah, it's always these old bald-headed heifers. She was like, yeah, don't worry about it. All that's going on the charge. He was like, you joking me? What you think I ain't gonna joke you? She said, you was talking junk about me first. Yeah, you was talking junk about me first. He was like, man, listen, nah, you just got something against me. Don't worry about it. Man, don't worry about it. I'm gonna bake you a cake. She was like, you gonna bake me a cake? Is that a threat? Is that a threat? He said, nah, it's a promise. She was like, all right, get in the cell. He was like, I'm going. She was like, get your fat ass in the cell. He was like, watch out, watch out. She was like, she smacked him on his titty. Now, I'm in cell 26, so I can see it. It's like, I don't know if it was a smack on the titty or it was like a push on his nipple. Like, I don't know what it was. But either way, he was like, get off my nipples. He said that shit like that. Like, and for real, when he said it, like you would think a man is locked up when a female touch you like that. He ain't gonna blurt no bullshit out like that. And nigga said, man, get off my nipples. He said that shit. She was like, I ain't on your nipples. I'm telling you to go in the cell. I'm trying to close the door. He said, you put your hands on me. It's on the camera. She said, I don't give a fuck about no camera. Get your ass in the cell. And they went in the cell, door closed. Boom. Door shut. She went up front, grabbed a joint to count. She did her count game. She came around when she got upstairs the house joint. She had look super mad in the face. My word, she had look mad. She had look angry. I'm talking about like mad, angry. Like her face just had looked so crazy. Like dude just disrespected her. You know what I mean? So when we came back out at the count, it was like, you know, he went to program. So it was like he didn't really see her no more until shift change. And then he wasn't even there. So I don't know what was going on. But it was a dude that slept beside me that be going to the law library sometime. When he came back from the law library, he was like, man, Green in that junk, man, writing Miss Williams up, man, for sexually assault. Yeah, he told me he gonna send a letter to he trying to get a letter notified to send to his lawyer on the street, everything. Told me he about to sue her for touching his nipples. I'm like, what? He like, yeah, that's my word. I'm like, man, you can't sue her for that, man. He was like, man, she did put his hands on her, Louise. I'm like, when he said that, like, I saw it, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like a assault type of jank. Definitely not a sexual assault type of touch. But you leave it up to somebody like Green. Green don't care about that, man. Green don't care about that, man. Green is just caring about strictly just trying to get this lady, man. Get rid of this lady. Like, he had a vendetta out against Miss Williams, and it wasn't even necessary, man. And so, like, hearing that, it was crazy. Hearing that job was crazy, man. So it was wild because he didn't see her no more that day. Man. But, like, she came to work the next day. So the next day when she came to work, now the paperwork is in. Because you know he's a maniac. He gets through it fast. He'll walk to the watch office during dinner, drop his paperwork off. Like, he knew what to do when it came to some stuff like that, man. So, like, when she came back to work, she was at work and she just was looking like, she was just looking mad again at everybody. Like looking super mad. Like, she ain't like nobody at this time. And then when she seen him, she couldn't even hold back, man. She was like, you motherfucker. She said, yeah, you trying to get my job taken. She said, fuck you, motherfucker. Yeah, you still gonna be in prison. I checked your release date. You come home 2036. Yeah, have fun doing all that goddamn time, motherfucker. See if you get out early on that one. He was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm gonna be still in penitentiary. You ain't gonna have no job, bitch. She was like, what, motherfucker? He was like, you heard me. She was like, fuck you. He was like, fuck you. So he just talking shit to her. As he talking shit, niggas like, niggas hit the police noise, goddamn. Next thing you know, you see the big hats coming in. Captain and lieutenant, they coming in the joint. So they walked in, everybody straightened up and took the joint. Everybody was gambling at the poker table, took the sheet off the poker table, threw that joint right there because you don't supposed to have nothing on the table. Dudes just playing dominoes, they moved to the sheet, everybody tighten up. Captain and lieutenant in here, you know what I mean? So he come in the joint. He was like, looking the part. You know what I mean? He a bald head dude, sweating bullets. He got the big hat joint on. He like, he looked around, he was like, let me see you. He called Green. He was like, let me see you. Let me see you right now. Green was like, Green got up, walked over there. Green get over there. When Green go in the office, he was in the office a minute. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm super nosy. I walk to the phone. From the phone area, you go and put your back to the wall on that last phone, you can slightly see in the office. But Green back is to me. And the dude, the lieutenant dude and the captain dude is in there like they facing him talking to him. I see them in there talking to him. So I don't know what they talking about. And I kind of forgot that stuff was going on with him and Miss Williams. Like, I knew they hated each other, but I didn't know this was this. So they talking to him. So he leave out. When he leave out, he walked out like this in front of everybody. Went back to his table. He was like, he went back, sat down, opened his book back up, called Miss Williams in the office. Miss Williams going there. They talking to her. You know what I mean? They talking to her. They talking to her. Talked to her like 15, 20 minutes. After about 15, 20 minutes, it was crazy because while he was talking to her, like, Green was at the table just smiling the whole time. He was like, he had a dumb smirk on his face. He was like, next thing you know, Lieutenant was like, hey, look, everybody locked down, man. This only for 30 minutes. I need everybody to lock down. He was like, locked down for what? Why, man? We just came out, man. Everybody get on the phone. Everybody complaining. Everybody snapping. Like, yo, what do you mean locked down? What are you talking about? Like, why are we locking? He's like, look, y'all coming right back out. I need y'all to lock down. Y'all ain't got no floor officer. I got to go find y'all a floor officer. So everybody like, why we ain't got no floor officer? We got Miss Williams. She right there. He was like, she ain't about to work over here no more. He's like, what? Everybody was like, what? He was like, as the moment, she ain't over here no more. So we looked. She was just grabbing her. You seen her grabbing her stuff? And Miss Williams headed out the slaughter, y'all.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes.